event you remember and where were you? The very first.
I raised my hand.
Laura wants to answer first.
It was 1963.
I know what that year was.
Yes, it was when John Kennedy was murdered.
Assassinated.
Okay, assassinated. And I was at school, and they used to have airplanes that would write in the sky, do the sky writing. And it said, on the playground, we were on the playground, and it said President Kennedy has been shot. And it was sky writing. They dismissed school, but I remember going in the house, and Mother was wailing, crying, watching TV, and I guess that's, that was my first newsworthy.
Yes.
Yes.
But the first thing I can remember watching on TV was the first man on the moon.
Oh, yeah.
The first steps on the moon.
I was across the street babysitting, and I came home, and some guy named Mike, and I won't say his last name, phoned me up. Well, anyway, go ahead.
The bird finds out of me sing as well.
I was but a wee preteen at the time. He phoned me up. Did you see that? Well, duh, did I see that? I saw that.
Duh.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you remember, Mother? First big newsworthy event.
I think Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor.
And your Uncle Weldon was there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Do you remember when it happened? How did you hear about that?
How did I hear about it? I don't remember.
Was it on the radio? Was it on the news? How did you know it
It
happened?
must have been on the news.
Or in the newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
Our Uncle Weldon was there, and he wouldn't talk about it. He didn't talk about. He took it to his grave.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, okay. Best childhood memories.
Playing cowboys and Indians with my best friend Curtis across the street.
Oh my gosh, Curtis.
Curtis, yes, and playing army with all of his friends, and they used to gang up on me and stuff, but that's neither here nor there.
That's
We were,
That's your
I
favorite
probably,
childhood memory?
Well, anyway, my first fun childhood memories was back then with Curtis.
Curtis, her first love.
And he had railroad tracks in his house, railroad trains and stuff. We used to go play trains.
I think my favorite childhood memories were the road trips we used to take.
Oh, yeah.
Every weekend we went somewhere.
Yeah, that was fun.
Somewhere. For a drive, whether it was just to my grandmother's house or
Palos
to
Verdes.
Palos Verdes. We would drive around Palos Verdes.
Beverly Hills.
We used to go to the old neighborhoods, Venice, and check it out. Every summer, we'd go to Sequoia or Yosemite, usually.
Mm-hmm.
And
One year we went to Yellowstone.
yes, we went to
With Chris.
With Chris.
Chris.
From the
Hi, Chris.
Hi, from the previous video, by the way. That Chris.
That Chris.
Yes, anyway. Yes, hi, Chris.
And you guys wouldn't get out of the car because it smelled bad.
It was really bad.
It was gross.
We would rather
We
sit
were
around and play
teenagers. We'd
play
rather stay in
guitar
the
and
camper.
sing. And act
Yes.
like hippies.
Yeah.
Even though the hippie era
Act
was
like
over.
hippies. That was another thing we used to, when we would take our road trips, we used to drive to Hollywood and look at the hippies. Do you remember
Oh dear.
Yeah.
that?
I
We'd
remember
look at the hippies.
I remember one time.
The bird is just having a great time.
We're driving down the street. I think it was Sepulveda Boulevard. And the radio was on, and one of the Beatles songs came on, and my mom, she's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. She went like, and she's like, I hate that music. And she'd turn it right off.
We
No.
listened to a lot of show tunes when we were growing up. That's
Show
all we-
tunes, yeah.
Show tunes. That's why
Yes.
I'm so well versed on that. What was your best childhood memory, Mother, growing up?
Not in McCamey.
Not in McCamey. Nothing good ever happened in McCamey.
No,
What about school? When you were in school, did you have Venice High School?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Venice High School.
Venice
And I
High.
used to have to ride the red car to get there.
Oh, that's even worse than what we
buses.
did.
And
I know.
I had to run every minute of the way to
Get there on time.
get to the red car. And boy, the old conductor, he would hold his hand out for me. And I'd grab onto his
Oh
hand.
my God, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's a hoot.
And then,
That reminds me of those movies.
Yeah.
then my friend Bernice,
Bernice. That's
okay.
what I was trying to
Yeah,
think of.
yeah.
and I used to
Bernice.
go into was in Hollywood, downtown LA, and we got to be seating. We sat people,
You were an usher.
yes, and then we could go down front and watch the shows. And
Thus her love of musical theater.
I loved musical theater. I remember John Raitt. I remember. Do I remember?
No, I don't.
But we saw many shows there.
And didn't you used to hang out in front of the studios, MGM,
Oh,
and get autographs?
oh.
That's where I got my love of autograph hounding.
Every weekend, going to MGM and stand out.
Not only did she travel the blocks, she traveled the city.
Yes, she did. And where was her mother?
I got many autographs.
Yes, you did.
One time I remember Roddy McDowell came out and he had a popsicle and he split it and he gave me half and he took the other
How
one.
nice of him to do that.
It wasn't that nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
because she was cute.
She was a looker.
All right. Okay.
Yes, very good. Childhood memories. Biggest lie you ever told your parents? Look at her.
I don't lie.
When I wrote this, I didn't know my mother was going to be sitting here.
She clears her throat. I seriously don't remember.
Oh,
any.
she's that's the Wally, the biggest one right there.
I don't.
I think probably not confessing that I was dating Victor. Anyway,
Victor.
Victor, who was a man of color.
is very good looking.
And that was back in the
The
day.
day.
Just saying. And my father was not one to appreciate that kind of a relationship.
Well,
So,
and also I tended to date Hispanic fellows at the time.
yes. Yes, you did.
He didn't like that either.
No. And what's the biggest lie you ever told your mother? Mother? She's no longer with us. My Mima passed away a few years ago, so you're safe. She can't come and bust your butt now. Did you ever sneak out?
No.
So,
I
yes.
remember smoking and I remember drinking, but that's about all I remember there.
Yes. So you never snuck out of the house or dated a boy you shouldn't have been dating?
No.
No.
Don't think so.
I don't remember telling big fat lies. I remember.
I think we were pretty good kids.
I
We
know.
didn't really
I remember
lie.
little things, but maybe nobody asked me, but not blatantly lying.
Right.
Right.
Okay, what was the make and model of your very first car, and would it be considered a classic today?
My make and model was a 63 Mercury, and yes, it would be considered a classic today. It was white with red bucket seats. It was nice. It was probably newer than my car is new today. I mean, it was a 63 Mercury, and it probably had it in, it was probably,
72, 70.
no, it was probably about 10 or 11, 12 years old when I had it.
Do the
So-
math.
Anyway.
The first car I ever drove was a pea green Pinto, 1972
Yeah.
Pinto Ford.
Mhm.
And I actually saw a pea green Pinto at Hot August Nights, the classic car show.
Are you serious?
I swear to you. So I guess in somebody's warped imagination, that's
Right.
a classic car.
You know,
Okay, so Mother, do you remember your very first car?
Yes,
What was it?
your dad had just been released from the,
prison?
released from the Air Force.
Oh, okay. Discharged. That's what I
Okay. And with his get-out pay, he bought a Hudson, green
Hudson.
and white.
Oh yeah, that'd be a classic car.
Yeah.
And that's the first car I ever drove. But I also remember my first car, which would, not my first car, but would certainly be, what do you call it, classic today?
Yes.
It was a rumble seat. And Steve,
Wait, no, Steve. Steve.
he was Muscle Man.
On Venice Beach.
But wasn't he like a movie star?
He was.
I thought he was the guy that played Hercules.
One of
Was
those
it
things.
Hercules?
And he used to come and just lift me up and put me
Like
in
she
the
was a
rumble
feather.
seat.
He was strong.
Very strong, and I sure loved it.
Uh-huh. Well, that kind of leads us to our next question. First love.